Welcome, heretics, to another 40k video as we stare into the timeless depths of the warp where all stories are already written. Now, witness 40k Survivor, and for our debut episode, we throw the Xenomorph from the Aliens movies into the world of 40k. Does it have what it takes? Will it stick an egg in the guts of the Corpse Emperor, or will its life cycle be ended forever at the end of an Astartes bolter? Let me know what you think. The Xenomorph egg is sealed up and reaches a Hive world on board a transport ship, and a ganger gets to it and takes it back to his gang's barricaded settlement in the Underhive. Once removed from the container, the egg senses the life around it. It opens up and a facehugger leaps out. The gang try to remove it from its victim, but the acid burns and the victim is strangled. And later the facehugger suddenly drops off, and the ganger seems fine for a little while, until the chest burster emerges. It does this, and it is able to hide until it grows into a drone, in other words, a proper size alien. And the cycle of life begins for the Xenomorph, and is ended for the Hive gang. The whisper of these aliens reaches the ears of the Inquisition, the Ordo Xenos. They call on the chamber militant of their Ordo, the Deathwatch, who are dispatched. As they near the settlement in the Underhive, the Space Marine helmets let them see the architecture around them, its twisted and depraved forms, moving around and above them, condensation dripping down, and they note the change in temperature as they enter that area, humid, a human would call it. The Blood Angel's psyche senses that, like the Tyranids, the Xenos here have a single will, but it's made up of smaller and larger elements, making it hard for the psyche to connect with it and to locate the individual aliens. Entering the Hive properly, they soon find humans, some mutant, some normal, walled in, with the alien Hive resin. One holds a relic shaped like an egg, as if they might have worshipped something in that shape. They encounter the first Xenomorph drone shortly after. They spit acid. Each is able to only do it once. This is aimed at the psyche, and it weakens his armour but burns out once it's exposed to the air. The others lay down bolter or flame of fire. Both effective, they quickly notice the blood splatter is acid as well, and move to kill the aliens at a safe distance, their overlapping arcs eliminating any forms of resistance. When this occasionally fails, due to the number of aliens, they use their melee weapons. The Chain Fist and Power Sword seem to retain their effectiveness for now as they cut into the Xenomorph corpses, as does the Chainsword, which is proven when it chews into a Xenomorph's chest. As the Blood Angel dodges his inner mouth, he pulls the sword up and the teeth chew through the chest of the Xenomorph, spraying the angel in its acidic blood. The engine of the Chainsword roars, and its path of destruction continues, and with a final growl of triumph, it bisects the alien's vicious grin, cutting it literally in two. The apothecary with them examines the Xenos, and sees all its blood is the monomecular acid they observed earlier, and he decides not to try its brains on this occasion. Deep in the Hive is where they go as they continue on. They find the eggs. The Xenos do not emerge, as the Marines are not alive to its senses. That is until an unlucky space wolf approaches without a helmet and takes a look. The egg opens and its contents leap out. When the facehugger emerges, it meets the space wolf's chain fist, which smears the alien over its teeth. The drones attack again, and when one Xenomorph recognizes the weakened armor from the acid, they begin to kamikaze, coming forward in pairs, one up close as a distraction, the other trying to die and rain as much acid on the Marine as possible in its attacks. The Blood Angel cycler is affected badly, his ceramite helmet melting, leaving his armour blind. He removes the helmet with much force of his gene-enhanced strength and gets some acid spat into his eye. It melts and he falls, the acid burning into his skull. The others protect their brother, and the Angel Psyker manages to get them a moment of respite with warp fire. The apothecary does what he can before more drones attack, and the Marines are forced back under the weight of bodies. A grenade is knocked by accident by an alien into a section of wall, which collapses it and cuts the Deathwatch off from their fallen brother. After killing those that remain, the Marines discuss over the Vox what they should do. The Salamander, a tech Marine, suggests a way he identified from the pre-mission briefing. The gang of refuge has been built around a link to a power unit and an upper hive, as a means for those in the under to squeeze out a little juice from it. That could be rigged to explode and take out the entire alien hive. They are able to find it shortly after, and they do this. And on the way out, they face fiercer warrior Xenomorphs, as if they're nearing some important point in the hive. With the fighting and the size of the area of the Xenomorph hive, several hours have passed at this point. The Marines' ammo is getting low, even the flamer. It's mainly melee, and the chain weapons are becoming more bludgeons at this point due to the acid damage on their teeth. The other power sword and how that works seems to still be immune. The Deathwatch's route will take them back round to their fallen brother, but before then they emerge into a large chamber, and it's there they find the alien queen. Flames remove the eggs in front of her as she screams in protest, and her Praetorians attack. Grenades cause the queen damage, breaking her off from her egg sac. The wolf gets close in with his chain fist. The queen screams, and the chain fist is barely slowed as it chews through her front leg until it's removed. The others remove the guards, and it's then a new type of alien appears, putting itself between the Marines and the queen. It's larger and more muscled than even the Praetorians, and it launches itself at them. All flames and bullet strikes hit, but the Xenomorph's wounds heal faster than they have encountered before. It's some sort of new breed. It counters with fast tail strikes that knock the Marines off their face and crack their brittle armour. And unlike the other Xenomorphs, it can move as fast as them. It leaps onto the ceiling when they try to pin it and surround it. It weaves between the Marines, using themselves as cover to avoid bolter fire, and targeting the Salamander, the alien's tail lashes out, entering through the exposed plate in his armour, and its inner mouth tastes the Astartes' blood, now that the egg of the Astartes' armour has been cracked by the tail. And the Xenomorph's attacks change. It becomes more aggressive, more liable to be hit by bolt around or chain fist, but it seems to shrug them off, and also becomes less tactical. And the angel recognises something within it, and its twisted form, something he has seen in brothers before being called to the Deathwatch. The red thirst, the flaw that afflicts his brothers, is now in this twisted alien. He voxes his Deathwatch brothers with an idea. As one they spread out around the Xenomorph. Its tail comes towards the son of Vulcan, who grabs it to hold the beast in place. The wolf distracts it with a frontal assault, his head narrowly evading its inner jaw, and the angel uses the opening. He gets in close, uses his power sword to cut a hole in its hide with one hand, and with the other pushes in the last of the Marines' grenades. They all move back and find what little cover they can as the Emperor Xenomorph is shown the power of his genecraft as it explodes in a shower of acid and guts. And with her champion fallen, the queen is finished off, already injured from the earlier attacks. They continue on their path. Once they have removed their fallen brother from the hive wall, the apothecary removes the progenoid gland from their fallen brother using a reductor, and that's where we end today's video. The Deathwatch go back up to their ship, they scan for any alien presences, there aren't any, and they carry on with their missions, mourning their fallen brother. So, that's the result. The Xenomorph fails, and it can't survive the world of 40k. Few can. The power scale was too great. Just to have a fun video, they did run through a lot of Xenomorphs. I hope you enjoyed the way it was told. Dry stats really don't do it for me, so a little narration and some fun Chainsword alien scenes were required, I think. I won't pretend it's the greatest story in the world, but I did my best. I wanted the Xenomorphs to get an egg onto the Deathwatch ship, a last horror twist, but it stretched things and didn't make sense, so that's not the way things went. The Emperor Xenomorph was a nod to the other types of aliens such as the Pred alien, because whoever the alien's eggs are in influences what's made. A little silly but fun. I also had to have a short timeline between the fallen Blood Angel being infected to a grown drone coming from what burst out of his chest. Definitely stretched things a little bit there, but it was a scene I couldn't help but want to put in, so I went along with it. So, who is up next? I have some ideas, but I'm not committed to any at the moment. Let me know what your ideas are. Did you think the Xenomorph ever stood a chance in the world of 40k, where everything is so high in the power scale? Comment down below.